Hello, hi everyone. My name is Shemilore and I am currently a doctor in my first year working as a doctor, actually, my foundation year one. And I'm working in the East of England Deanery. I'm doing an academic foundation post, which I might talk a bit about later. But essentially, I want to talk about beyond medicine, what that looks like, what that means, and how that applied in my life, and just how you can do it as well. So for me, going into medical school, I knew that I really wanted to take advantage of every single opportunity available to me in medical school. I was somebody, whilst I had the traditional medical school route, I did not necessarily have all the opportunities available to me as some of my colleagues, as some of the people around me at the time. So I really had to make use and advantage of the tools I had. But that also means it gave me a drive and a passion to see things beyond the typical pathway of medical school. So I was very fortunate to have a few opportunities come along. And that's basically what I want to talk about, how we can identify the opportunities and how we can utilize those opportunities as well to make us a more rounded person. So for me, I'm going to start with the first year. So when you first start medical school, when you start going through the process, you feel very excited and you feel very privileged to be in medical school. As for me, I know myself, I was the first person in my family, not the last, thank God, to go to medical school. So I was very excited, I was very happy. And the key thing is when you get into medical school, you want to make sure that you do everything you can to succeed and to stay in medical school as well. But I was also looking for ways to really enhance my medical school journey. And one of the key things and key ways I did this was to look for opportunities of things I was interested in. So one key thing I would recommend is before you start medical school, for any people going into medical school, or even people who are currently in medical school right now, if you haven't done this already, is to write a list of your priorities, things you hold there, things you think you have, your skills and talents, and also priorities which you want to either improve on or which you think you already have and would really like to make a part of your medical school journey. So for me at the time, mine was music because I love playing instruments, really developing myself as a public speaker and orator. And another one for me was also church as well. I grew up in the church. So I did this through various means. Church one, I found a local community, got involved in the music one. Again, similar. The great thing about church, the church I went to, they also had a very good music department, a very good choir. And in addition to that, I was also part of the University of Birmingham, which was my medical school, the University of Birmingham Gospel Choir as well. Through this, I was given various opportunities. I was given opportunities to even become a community or committee member rather in the second year. And this was great. I became the band director for the University of Birmingham Gospel Choir. We performed in various competitions, the most notable one being the University Gospel Choir of the Year competition, in which we actually won that year as well, which was really, really, really good. And it really taught me a lot of skills such as leadership, communication, and even teamwork as well, as we had to organize, create musical set lists and all of that, as well as also work with the main body of the choir as well. And really just learning how different people work together in unison to have a great effect on something. In addition to that as well, public speaking and oration. One of the ways I personally developed this was by starting a YouTube channel. It was a very small YouTube channel in first year, just talking about my life as a black medical student at the time. And the main purpose of that was really to help develop my public speaking in front of a camera, help develop my public speaking in front of people as well. It helped me become a lot more confident talking by myself, because a lot of times it was me with a little iPhone, or even, I don't even know if I had an iPhone, Android then, or it was me with something, and just speaking at a camera without really anything. And that process, that time really, really helped me to be comfortable with hearing my own voice, helped me to make mistakes. It also helped me to learn skills beyond just medicine, learning how to edit using Premiere Pro, learning how to create things, learning how to create programs, And all those experiences actually proved to be helpful later on. So now moving on to my second year, I'd started a foundation, I started a base, and I really like to have more of a wider understanding of what was there in medicine and what was there beyond as well. And as a result of that, one of the things that I became really interested in was mentorship and how I could start mentoring younger people and people who were in the same position to myself before getting to medical school, that they might not have known people who are necessarily doctors, they might not have had that big body of people to talk to. So I got involved with various mentorship programs in my medical school. I became something we call a Roots to Professions mentor, specifically for medicine. So I was mentoring year 12 students to get into medicine, helping them with their interviews, with their personal statements, and just any various things they may need. And that experience, again, all these experiences teach you things. That experience, once again, taught me confidence, and it also taught me how to formulate my pathways as well. It's one thing to do something and to go through something, but it's another thing to describe what you've been through to somebody else in a way that they can really understand it and use it to develop themselves as well. And I was very fortunate and very privileged that as I went through the process as a mentor, the younger people who I was mentoring, they were able to get into medical school. Some of them got into medical school before they wanted to do medicine. Others decided that medicine was not for them and they took other pathways as well, which is also fine. I think the important things whilst you're helping other people is to help them discover who they really are. It doesn't mean they should be mini you or be like you, but to be themselves. And all these things, again, they all taught me something to make me who I am. And now progressing on to my third, my fourth, and my fifth year, I'm gonna do them all together, and also my sixth year even, because I took a year out to intercalate. Throughout all those years, the skills which I'd built up in my formative years of year one of medical school and year two of medical school, I was able to apply them for more and more things. So in my fourth year of medical school, I was fortunate enough to get accepted to be one of the team medics for the public for the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. And that was a wonderful experience in which I got to practice first aid, typical basic life support, which we learn in medical school, but in a more broader sense and in actual practical terms with a wider, multidisciplinary team, which is often a buzzword in medicine nowadays. But again, and this is a key point I really want to relay, if not for those foundational years where I learned how to do those things, I wouldn't have had the skills required to be in that opportunity, because it was a competitive process to get there. I wouldn't have had the confidence to even present myself well during the interviews, if not for those experiences I'd had before. That's why for any burgeoning medical students out there, any current medical students out there, I would really encourage you, your books are important, and focusing and really studying hard is important as a medical student. It's also important to develop yourself outside of medicine as well, because those skills really do come in handy. And in a similar vein as well, as I was learning in medical school and beyond medical school with all the various things I was doing, I also started to become passionate about having things to do with medicine, and those started to intertwine. So a simple example, I started to become more involved with the University of Birmingham Trauma and Orthopedic Society. And because of the skills I'd learnt as a first year medical student when I was running my YouTube channel, I decided, working with other colleagues, other medical students, we decided to create an online teaching program known as SATMAS, and that was, and is currently still available actually. It's aimed at teaching either medical students or foundation year one, foundation year two doctors, and doctors in the early stages of their surgical training about the basics of trauma management, trauma diagnosis, and how trauma relates to the wider world of both orthopedics and also medicine and surgery in general. Through that process, because I'd already learned how to edit videos, I was in charge of curating the speakers, curating the lectures as well, and also editing the videos with a professional video editor. And because of the skills I'd gained early on from my first year of medical school, it all snowballed to me getting the opportunity, and also to me being able to do that opportunity well. We're currently building on that and actually working in collaboration with the British Trauma Society to roll that out nationally. So again, these opportunities wouldn't happen if not for the skills and the things I developed in my first and second year of medical school. And now, even till now, I am currently the director of another program called the Aspiring Medic Support Scholars Program, or otherwise known as TAM Scholars Program, in which we have a cohort of 15 to 20 first-year medical students, and we mentor them throughout the whole year. We offer them financial support, support to do with financial literacy, support to do with medical school itself, and also revision sessions as well. And throughout all of this as well, I wouldn't have had the experience and the boldness to be able to do something like this if not for the mentorship experience I'd already had when I was in my first and second year of medical school. I tried to continue it throughout medical school as well. And the great thing about all these experiences is that is the snowballing effect. When you start one, it gets you the next one. When you're in the next one, you learn new skills which you use for the next one. For example, using my previous experience as the TAM Scholars Director. In that, I learned how to source for funding. I learned how to source for sponsors as well. And I'd also learned how to talk to organizations which I never thought were possible to talk about, such as the Royal College of Surgeons, which are currently in collaboration with, Kiki Medics, which we are currently planning to be in collaboration with, and various other organizations as well, such as the Healthcare Leadership Academy. And I learned how to discover the parlance of corporate speak, as it were, and really navigate through that as well. So all these experiences, they all lead to something, they all add to something. And I know for myself, it's not over yet, and the journey of me learning isn't over yet. But all these things are all possible with a bit of perseverance and just the ability to keep going. And lastly, before I finish off, I just want to say this as an encouragement to anyone. There's no one is special. I don't think anybody has any special thing about them. All these things are all possible. Just letting you know if this is something you're interested in. It's not easy. It wasn't easy for me. There are a lot of sacrifices I had to make. A lot of times where it was quite difficult for me to find the time, and I had to really cut some things out because I knew where I was going. And a lot of times as well, balancing it with my medical studies, it didn't make things always easy because there was always more sacrifices to be made because I knew where I was going. And I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet by any means, but I would encourage anyone out there, if I could do it, I totally believe you can do it as well. And I'm really excited to see where this journey is going for all of us. And thank you to the House of Medics team as well. You can see them on all their social medias, wherever they may be. And I'm really looking forward to hearing about all the great things all you guys are doing as you explore in medicine and beyond. Thank you so much.